This is DevOps in Agile Way podcast.
Hello everyone again. In today's episode, I will break with tradition, which is not very well established yet because this is the beginning of my podcast, but generally I should have right now the interview with very interesting person. But instead of this, I will share my thoughts and my opinions about the recent event which I was part of as a very small member of the very great organizing team. So I mean AWS Community Day in Warsaw. It was the second edition of this event and we learned a lot from the first one. So I suppose you already saw, those of you who participate in the event, you already saw a lot of improvements. Before I will go to the explanation what we've done, who done it, etc., let me tell you a little bit what is AWS Community Day. The name explains everything really, right? AWS, this is event related to AWS. Community, because this event is driven by the community and delivered to the community. And day, because this is 1 day long event. This event, however, is not separated. AWS Community Day in Warsaw is one of the events throughout the whole world. So in Warsaw we had one of the events. We have many similar events around the world. So there are many community days around the world. So anywhere you are, you probably will find something very close to you, and I really encourage you to join this type of events, and I will explain why somewhere on the end of this episode. This event is not driven by AWS, but by the community who are gathered around AWS, and we provided this event for free. I believe if this kind of event is free, this is a really very good price and worth to attend. So bear with me for the next year. What I can say about the organizing team. So I was a small piece in this great organizing team. There are 8 of us. In our case, the organizing team consists of 2 AWS heroes and 6 AWS community builders. So before I will present who those organizers are, let me tell you a little bit what is AWS hero and what is AWS community builder programs, because these are the programs. So generally, if you look from outside, you may think that those programs are quite similar, and this perception will be not very wrong. There are differences. What kind of responsibilities heroes or community builders have, and also there is a big difference how you can become hero or community builder. So generally for the community builder, you need to send your proposal to the AWS, and there is a committee probably who will judge if you are good enough or not to join the program of community builders. For AWS heroes, someone from AWS employees need to recommend you first. It is more closed program. There is definitely less heroes than community builders because also the responsibilities are a little bit more complex than for the community builders, and so on. I don't want to go deeper into that. So the organizing team, we have great heroes, and I'm saying this nice word on purpose. So we have Łukasz and Maciej, who are our AWS heroes who help to organize this event. You could meet them on many events organized by AWS, by communities, etc. And also 6 community builders: Maria, Kasia, Dominik, Rafał, Tomasz, and myself. This is the organizing team. How we organize this event? Well, this should be our sweet secret, so maybe I shouldn't share many things from our internal work, but enough is to say that we had a lot of meetings. We work overtimes, let's say this way, because this is a community-driven event, right? And we had a lot of brainstorming, preparations, discussions, how to do stuff, how to make things great, how to make sure that we will have great content and all audience will be satisfied with the experience. Hopefully our discussions and many hours spent on this were very fruitful, and at least I enjoyed really the event. What about the event itself? Well, as I said, this is one-day event. We had very good location, I can say spectacular location, because in our case we ran the second edition on Narodowy Stadium in Warsaw. So this is like a national stadium for football games. For those of you who are in US, it is soccer, not American football. So something what you probably don't understand, but I don't blame you for that. Of course, we didn't have the whole venue, only part of it, but it was more than enough. We had 3 tracks, and what was quite surprising in some point for us, because we received a lot of great talks to select, and generally we planned to have 2 tracks, but finally we selected so many talks that we were able to organize 3 tracks. What kind of talks we had? Generally, what I can say, and that was interesting for me, of course, a lot about serverless. And this was not that unexpected. What was unexpected, at least for me, that there was almost nothing about Kubernetes. And I'm so happy with that, honestly speaking, because I have enough of Kubernetes in all conferences around. Of course, there was talks about machine learning, there was talk about monitoring, observability, about DevOps itself, in terms of processes, about the architecture. Also, some speakers touched no-code, or let's say lambda-less, serverless in AWS. Interesting talk we had about SLA, for example, as well. Oh yes, I see now, I'm just looking, scanning the agenda, and I see there was a talk about Kubernetes. But that's fine. At least it was, I think, only one. And very cool talks about AWS ecosystem. What was very successful in my opinion? So as I said, we had 3 tracks. What means 3 rooms? Each room had 120 seats. Almost all talks were full. So people even had to stay or sit around, not on the chairs, but just, around the room. It means that the conference, in my mind, was very successful. From the feedbacks which we gathered already, it was also seen, for example, by our partners. And I want to say very big thank you to all our partners who decided to help us and sponsor this event, because as I said, this is the community event. We do not have any profit from it. So we base on help of others, in this case our partners, who just help us to provide this event to the audience. So even partners observed that when the talks started, the hall was empty. So it means everyone just went to the rooms to listen to our speakers. It means that we delivered really strong agenda and really strong speakers. And I'm really happy with that. I think that's enough about the event itself. As I said, we collected some feedbacks already, and those feedbacks were delivered by the partners, by the speakers, by the audience, and I didn't have anything bad. All of the feedbacks were very positive and very enthusiastic event, so I'm really happy. So we all did really great job to provide this event to everyone. So to sum up the event itself, great work and my great appreciation for all organizers who did this event possible. Great thank you for all partners and sponsors. Great thank you for all of you who joined this event and participate as speakers and also as an audience. And now to the final part of this episode, why I believe this kind of events are very important. It's not only about the knowledge which we can get from different talks, from different people, from different really experienced people. Of course, this is very important part of each conference, to have great lineup and great speakers with great topics. And I believe we had it in this event. However, for me personally, the most important part of every event, every meetup, every conference is networking. Discussions with people, discussions with speakers, agree with them, disagree with them, learn what they achieved, give some hints, helps from my side also if they expect to that, and have bigger and bigger network of people to communicate with, to learn from, to help. This is the amazing power of every event, every conference. Especially, pandemic taught us how to do events online, but honestly, events like this one, offline, not recorded at all, you need to be on site, talk with people. This is the greatest part of it, right? To have this communication, to have these interactions, to have this networking. And I encourage every one of you to join us next year, to join the group around you in your countries in this year, next year, and join other events and enjoy the show, really, because it's worth to do. And that's all from me for today, I believe. So really, again, I'm really grateful that I had the opportunity to be part of this event, and looking forward for next year. I hope it will be even better. It's hard to imagine that we can do better event, but we will surprise you. I'm sure of it. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Have a nice evening. Have a nice part of the day, wherever time zone and time you are right now. And see you in the next episode. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to this episode of DevOps in Agile Way podcast with your host, Pavel Pivosh. Subscribe, comment, and do not forget to check our next episodes. Stay tuned. Stay safe. Stay curious.